Dawn Robinson from In Vogue and Lucy Pearl. She was in Lucy Pearl with the guy from Tony Tone, and she
Raphael
was
Sadiq.
Raphael Sadiq. And then also on top of that, she was in Vogue. So recently, she revealed on her YouTube channel that she is now homeless, or she's been rocking out with being homeless for an extended period of time. So I'm going to play a little bit of that, and then I want to get y'all thoughts on that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, y'all. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. So this is her, and then we're gonna go ahead and deep dive into that.
Figure shit out for ourselves. So anyway, I digress. You guys, for the past almost 3 years, I have been living in my car. I said it. Oh my God, it's out. I've been living in my car. Oh my gosh. If you remember, if you guys were with me, in 2020, I did like 105,000 interviews. And in the interim, I was living with my parents in Vegas. And that was wonderful until it wasn't. I love my mom, but she became very angry.
Can't hear you, Anton.
I'm gonna play this for like 3 minutes because I want to get the full context. All right. So I'm gonna play it for like 3 more minutes.
And a lot of her anger she was taking out on me, and I was her target all the time. And I was like, I can't deal with this. Like, I respect her too much. I didn't understand it. I still don't. And it hurt me. So I was just trying to figure it out, but I couldn't. You can't read someone else's mind. You can't figure them out. They got to figure themselves out. So I was like, let me get out of here. And I was sleeping in my car for maybe about a month in Vegas. And then the guy that was co-managing me at the time was living in LA. And he said, you need to come back to LA because it's getting ready to be fire in Vegas. You need to come back. I love LA. So I said, okay. And he said that I could stay with him. And so I was like, okay. But you have a dog, I have a dog. Do we have? And he's like, I don't have a lot of room, but I'll make room for you. And then when I got to his place, he actually didn't have room for me. So it turned into, okay, we'll put you in a hotel for the night. And that one night turned into 8 months. Oh my God, you guys. I was like, no, this is unacceptable, because every apartment that I looked at, every single time I looked at a place, I would call him and I'm like, okay, can you meet me here? I would tell him ahead of time, of course. And then he wouldn't meet me there until I would take video and send it to him. And he's like, no, oh my God, this neighborhood, I hate it. I'm like, dude, I'm the one who has to live here. This is my remote for my phone. You can push play and pause and all that stuff. So that's why I'm holding this. Anyway, and it's way cheaper than the hotel. I told my assistant one day, I have been researching car life. There's a whole community of people that live in their cars, and a whole community of people that live in their RVs, and a whole community of people that live in vans. Van life, car life, RV life. And I loved what I was seeing. I just thought, wow, these people, I can do that. I can do this, I think. And I ended up in my car, and it's been, like I said, 3 years. Yeah, I mean, I felt like he was playing games, and I knew he was playing games, and I wasn't the one. I'm like, come on, I'm trying to make this easier on you, because financially, I know it's got to be hard. You're paying your rent and you're paying my hotel. Like, no, his apartment was $1,700 a month. And then my hotel was over $3,000. Yeah, way too much. And no, I'm not doing this. I can't. So, and I was always stressed every week because he would pay weekly for the hotel. So every week I was like, oh my God, can you afford it? Are you okay? And he's like, no, I can't, but I'm getting it together. What? You're the one who said to go to the hotel, and you're not approving any of the apartments. Like, it would be so much cheaper to just get me into an apartment. Like, what's the problem? Sometimes I think, you guys, people want to trap you and keep you in a situation where you're vulnerable and depending on them. And I wasn't the one.
So we'll stop there. I'll stop there. I think that that's enough context because it's a very, very long video. It's like 18 minutes, but I don't want to play the whole 18 minutes. I just wanted to go ahead and get that get that out so we can have a conversation. Anyway, so Dawn Robinson, who was formerly in Vogue and was a singer or whatever, reveals that she's been living in her car for the last 3 years. I'm gonna get Slimmy's take on this based off of what you heard. What do you think, Slimmy?
It's a song that I like by Nerd.
Oh, NERD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, it all comes crashing down.
Yeah, that's my song.
She always put herself above the group, man. That's sad that damn, man. I know a few times I heard about En Vogue performing, and she was like really giving them a hard time about performing with them, and it was all like seemed like rumors, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, damn, this shit might have been true, because she was always distancing herself from the group, and they were saying she was a problem. She was real problematic. So it's kind of fucked up, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't believe in karma, but like when you keep shitting on people and you doing wrong, that shit come back on you in a way that you would never expect. She could still be probably torn with the group.
Oh, the group is touring, ain't they?
I don't think they ever gonna stop touring.
Yeah, I think they have been touring the whole time. I don't think that they ever stopped.
But she was giving them a hard time and acting like she was the group. I actually had seen her on social media. She was talking hellish shit. Got ugly. It got ugly at one point, but it just makes you wonder. Like, and then the story, like she said, like she was living off a dude and like he wouldn't approve an apartment. That shit don't even add up.
It doesn't. It didn't to
like,
me.
Who gonna want to pay $3,000 when they could put you in an apartment? Like, so something there, it's some cap going on, man. Like, it's some cap. You like you can't live with your mom. You can't be with your group. You can't be with a man. You can't even give him some pussy so he could pay some rent for you. Like, you fucked up. There's something wrong with you.
Slimmy, you might be too real for the internet. You might be too real for the internet.
No, man, like she gotta look in the mirror. That's why she started looking in a car life, van life, RV life. Cause she took a peek, like, damn, I'm fucked up. Let me do some research on how I could make this shit work on my lonely.
But you might be too real for the internet, bro.
No, that's just honest though, man. Like how does she fucked up all these situations to where she gotta live out her car? Man, she is a star. Man, I still listen to Lucy Pearl. Like, that first single they had was fire. How do you go from that to living in your car? You are fucked up. It's something going on with her that's fucked up, man. And I really hate to say that, because I thought she was a fucking talent. She can fucking sing, man. Where is that shit at now? You can't go sing. Like, I don't get it, man.
I want to go to Mika. What do you think about this?
Thank you, Dance Tonight. Thank you, B Wood.
I 100% agree with Slimmy. I was talking to Carrie in the chat earlier about it because I had the opportunity to be on the same show with En Vogue. We were on a show on BET and performing, and apparently she was supposed to be on it. She was supposed to do the tour. They were touring and doing what do you call them, like the hotels and things like that, Vegas and Atlantic City and all of that. And she was supposed to do it. She didn't want to do it at the last moment. So I'm in agreement. That's her, her MO. And it seems like she does it wherever she goes, because who rarely gets two opportunities like that, and two opportunities that hit like that?
I'm gonna go to Molly. I would like to get Molly's perspective, and then we go on to Quentin next, and then Carrie last. Molly, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's unfortunate for her. I thought I shared the same Sentiment is Slimmy. Like, you are talented. Why can't you just use your talent to help you get out of that situation? It was a little uncomfortable to listen to. Like, I get uncomfortable listening to people in situations like that talk about it because it's like it's spirits behind you. That some stuff, some people's situations might bleed over into your life, start causing some weird chaos. So I'm like, I don't know. Hope the best for her. It seems like maybe, I don't know. She has something going on. I don't think that was the whole story
You
because
think that is more
why?
to it than just what
Yeah, like, why do you have no stability in your life
Facts, man.
with your history and the fact that you're an adult. You have to live with your parents, you're living out of hotels, now you're living in your car. Is this some substance abuse? Like, I got some extra questions, so I don't know. I was just uncomfortable listening to it because there's no excuse. She just made a lot of excuses.
Quinn thoughts?
I think she's fine. I think she's living in her car by choice. I think if she wanted to go elsewhere, she probably could.
So do you think that Quinn, do you think that that's something that's wrong with people that live in their car by choice?
I do, or maybe not. Maybe it's what they want to do. Like the whole how she lumped the van, RV, car life. I think car life don't go to the van and RV life. That's different because people like my best friend lives in there. Him and his wife and their two kids live in an RV, and they have been since 2020. And they sold their $500,000 house to do so, and they didn't need to. So, um,
So RV life is much different than car life.
yeah, I think RV life that's like a luxury. That ain't like, oh fuck, I gotta live in my RV. What the fuck? Like that's like luxury type shit.
Yeah, that's something totally different.
Like that's why I was kind of weird how she put it all together.
Yeah, she you know why she did that shit. That's safe face.
But I don't know. I think she can pull herself out of the situation she wanted to. Like when I heard her talk, I thought mental illness. I didn't think anything else. Like why would you want to? Like it's just uncomfortable. Just think of like staying in your car. Like where are you taking a bath? I know she had on lipstick and she had a podcast. She looks clean. So I don't know. I think this is a choice that she's making, and it's not something that she just fell into and she ain't got no other options. I don't think that.
Carrie, what are your thoughts on Dawn from In Vogue, formerly of In Vogue, and Lucy Pearl going homeless by choice?
I think that this is clearly a reset that she thinks she needs. And I mean, she don't have any kids. She don't have a husband. Her dog died in the car. So there's really nothing. I mean, this is the time to do it. She says she showers. She has a gym membership, so she showers at the gym.
See, gym niggas by choice don't live in their car. Like it's just a choice for her to live in a car.
Wait, what happened to the guy?
That was what this one guy used to
What's your name?
do. That used to talk about me. Used to do YouTube streams on me, and he used to say I didn't have no money, but he was showering at the gym because he was homeless. Just
What?
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, Carrie. I'm sorry. What was y'all saying?
No, I mean that was
Dang.
the sentiment. I think that like she said, would she rather be living in an apartment? She said, yeah, but she said that she's glad that she made the choice she did for herself. And she's documenting this whole thing. She's been documenting it for years now. She plans on selling her documentary to somebody, Netflix, somebody. And she said, my career from here on out will be successful. Like with what I have planned, my vision for myself, it'll be successful, and it'll be because of how I did it. So this means something to her. She calls it a dark something phase where she had to separate herself from everybody, friends, family, but she had to do it for her. So I don't need to live in a car, to do that. But if that's what she feels led to do, then go ahead. She says she's learning a lot.
Every nigga that's homeless say they learning a lot.
you know.
You do learn a lot, nigga.
But
Everybody else
even
start
but
thinking.
Quentin, like there's a couple that I know too who they had a nice home in the Midwest and they decided their kids got older, so they sold their house and they got an RV. And to me,
That's
I
not
was
the
like,
same.
ooh,
It's not the
no,
same.
no, 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 no. That's not. I'm not saying it's the same. What I'm saying is when they did that, I was like, ooh, like I would never do that. But then when I thought about it, I was like, whether I would do it or not, that takes a different level of a lot of things in terms of your thinking, in terms of being willing to be adventurous, being willing to put yourself out. Like it takes a lot of different things. And for whatever the reason, she felt led to do that. So I wish her safety and success on her journey.
Edna
Um,
Mode.
I usually, God, I don't want to seem like such a bad human. I would usually, because homelessness is like my weak spot. Like that's the thing that I've always been passionate about helping people through. I've done a lot of volunteer work and all of that, right? But I think Slimmy kind of hit it really hard when he was like, some people it's a self-inflicted wound. You don't get along with nobody. Your mama. One thing that she said during that thing that I just played, and she tried to make it seem like her manager was controlling her, but her manager was struggling, paying for her to find somewhere to live when he didn't have to. That's not his responsibility. He said that she got an assistant. How you got an assistant, but you've been homeless for 3 years?
I thought that too. That's why I said it's about choice. It's not like she can pull herself out of it anytime. She's paying for assistant, gym membership. She's probably paying for that YouTube premium with her YouTube channel. You know what I mean? She ain't. I think she can do other things than live in her car if she wanted to.
Yeah, and it's like, so you have a choice. You can't. You didn't get along with your mother the way that you should have. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I think that all of these people that contribute to her, because of course, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a GoFundMe or some shit around. I think that we're enabling bad behavior.
Well,
Honestly,
oh, sorry.
go ahead. You can say whatever you want. I don't care.
No, I was just gonna say in the video, she did also say she was like, "Guys, this is not a like, oh, feel sorry for Dawn. Like,
Doesn't
I'm
know.
home. Like, I'm just saying in the video, she's
Netflix is
saying,
not
I'm not.
giving her no documentary.
All I'm saying is that she seemed to want people to know that she's not out here destitute and like I'm please feel sorry for me, like this, to y'all's point, this is a choice, like this is a choice that I've made for myself and I'm good with it, I'm good with my journey on it.
The problem, Carrie, though, is that we're framing this like this chick is in her right mind. You can't tell us that you're good with it when you're historically bad with decision making. You're not good. Something is wrong with you. And for you to be homeless by choice, anybody that's homeless by choice is not good. I don't give a fuck what they say. Nobody is homeless. Nobody wants to be homeless unless is something wrong with them. And so I don't buy it. I think that there's more to the story. I think that she probably did use their manager and she tried to make it seem like he was trying to control her. Um, it's very hard for me, especially even with her older, you can still tell like she was pretty when she was younger and stuff like that, right? Like even with her being, homeless and stuff like that, you can tell that she got something. For men to go homeless, it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to figure that shit out. For women to go homeless, especially when they halfway decent looking,
You can get something from somewhere.
that's hard to do. For women to go homeless and you halfway decent looking and you can sing, that's a pretty tough sell right there for me. Honestly. There's something wrong all the way up in there that's not being uncovered. It could be an addiction. It could be a whole lot of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. Come on, man. Something
She
else is
was
going
just
on.
on. She was just on a show not too long ago with the white guy she said she was married to. So I'm trying to figure out what happened to that guy. I didn't hear anything about it on the,
I'm
on
not
the
even sure if it's possible for a woman to go homeless. A halfway decent woman to go homeless. That's a hard thing to do. It seems like.
Well, so because I see that shit every day. Like now, you start seeing like mental illness is probably the main thing. Like I was talking with this woman and she was just telling me about how she had just got back in a house, and I could tell some things was off. I could tell like she started talking about her old jobs, how everybody was the problem. It was similar to how, she was talking, and she was like, I got ADHD, I gotta take my meds. It was just a lot, and it just sounded like mental illness. And anytime I see these people, I'm not judging them, but
I am.
I I see mental illness. Like a lot of these dudes, they want to be in them streets. They want to be out there.
They do.
They
I
want to
used
be
to
out
deal
there.
with homeless people a lot, and one thing that I found, because I would always find, because it is space inside of these shelters a lot of times, and often at times they'll go into a shelter if it gets slow. Like you know how they be having like them freezing days, and they be giving them warnings. They're aware of all of that shit, and they
Oh
survive. They
yeah.
know what to do. They go into the shelters for that night only, but they choose to not go to shelters or to not get help. And it is programs that help people get off the streets. And I know that it's programs because I volunteered for a lot of them. They choose to be on the streets. And one of the reasons that they choose to be on the streets is because if you go into a shelter, for example, and a lot of regular people that live everyday lives that's never, you know what I'm saying, seen that face of what that looks like on the streets, they don't know. And they say, well, how come the shelter ain't helping all of this stuff? These people choose that because when you go into a shelter, you can't do what you want to do. You can't mess with drugs or come and go as you leave. If you win, you win. If you out there, then you can't come in past a certain time. The shelter is closing at a certain time, so on and so forth. A lot of them don't want to be controlled. A lot of them don't want to be told what to do. A lot of them would rather take they chances out on the streets than to have somebody giving them structure and telling them what to do, which is one of the reasons why it's difficult to convince somebody or to save somebody from themselves. Or when you go into a project, you say, hey, I want to get you off the streets or whatever. They don't want to be off the streets because they want to have the freedom to do what they want to do. They don't want you telling them what to do. They don't want you to tell them that they can't go outside. You can't go and get this drug. You can't go and visit this person. You can't deal with this hoe. You can't deal with these things. And they don't like being controlled. And they would rather hit the streets than to have you tell them what to do and give them some structure. They don't like it. They absolutely do not like it. I'm telling you, they don't. A lot of people choose to do it, choose to be in that space because they do not like being controlled and they do not like having that type of structure.
Yeah, they want to live off the grid.
And they be having to clean up in there too. Some of them don't want to do it.
Yep, they were
Yeah.
better rather
You
hit the
got to
streets.
function like a normal part of society.
She talked about living off the grid too. She said that a lot more people are going in that direction.
I
Yep.
Yeah,
think it's being glamorized. I don't like that because we shouldn't glamorize something.
I don't think
It's
it's
too
being
unstable.
Living
glamorized.
off the grid.
You don't have an address. You have to
More people
constantly
need to be
move.
able to
If
live
you
off
get
the grid so
sick,
that
like
they can
who's your
survive.
doctor gonna be? Like I don't think people think about like the long-term things that go into being homeless or just like a nomad.
No,
It's just
no,
being
no. But
glamorized.
but that's the thing. No, it's not being glamorized.
Um,
That's the thing. They
It
want to
I
get
is,
think
honey.
away.
so.
They want to
I
get
think
away
On
from.
the
so.
internet, it is
Gotta-
being celebrated. People
They
are
they
a
want
going
lot
to
of
get
against
away
it.
people,
from that stuff though. They don't want a
right? That's
doctor.
the whole point
They
of
don't want
getting
a
No,
off the
it's
doctor.
not,
grid.
bro. If you look
They
at
don't
some
want
of
a
the stuff
doctor.
that's on the internet and go and look at car
Where
life,
are you gonna
life and
go
all of that
though?
shit, people
They
are
don't care.
glamorizing it and they're making it seem like that, you know what
No,
I'm saying? I
people.
could travel where I want to go. I can just connect to the internet and all of this shit. It's being pushed and it's being
Oh, you talking
glamorized, bro.
about the
Yeah,
car
but it's
life
the
shit?
same. It's
Oh
the
yeah, I ain't
same
talking about
thing. But
that.
it's the same thing as the when people were talking about the trad wives or any other thing that gets promoted in social media. You have to look at, is it one, good for your lifestyle, and then two, how do they get there? What's funding it? Most of the people that are nomads, they have like funding, that like they have money. and they actually have
Some of them
land.
still work.
Like they have a community. It's not just they got up one morning, and went somewhere. So that's on whoever
Not the
wants to
ones
get
on the
up and
West
look at
Coast.
the
The
internet and think,
motherfuckers be
"Oh,
taking
I'm
it.
just gonna be a nomad today." That's
Yeah, they're like squatters
The
though.
ones on the West Coast doo doo on the street. So
but those are okay.
Okay, I'm not talking about homeless people. I'm
But the
talking about people
nomads
who
are
live
different
off.
than the homeless people.
you talking about people that live off the grid, Carrie? Carrie, you went out. I can't hear you, baby.
She said she's talking about people that live off the grid. They don't want doctors. They don't want addresses. They don't want people being able to contact them. They want to be away from what they see as society. They want to be away from that shit.
But
Some of
they
those
they
homeless
have a society though. It's
no
just
no
not this
but some of those homeless people, they're the same way. They want to live off the grid, but they want to live lawless. These people, some of them, not all of them, they just want to get wasted. They be at the motherfucking train stations up in there. They
They do.
having parties at the train
Do.
station. Like they sitting up, they blowing trees. How you get weed?
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that.
How you
What
get
you talking
weed?
the
about,
off the
Carrie?
grid people.
I'm
They
talking
have
about people who know how to cook, who know how to hunt, people who know how to start fires, who know how to build, who like are with nature. I'm talking
yeah
about live off the grid for
yeah.
real. I'm not
Those
talking
people they
about
got it.
want to stay in the city but just
Bless
don't
you.
want to have to pay for
Bless you.
nothing.
Bless you.
Oh shit, my bad.
that shit was wet.
Oh, in your shirt. Ew. That's why I looked over there like,
And then
I
it's like you
can't
have to
do
keep your car maintenance. Like, what do you do if it breaks down? Where do you go? You have an RV, like who's gonna fix it? You gotta think about all these things, and I don't think people are being honest.
Well,
Well,
again, most of those people they have communities, and like I said, the nomad or whatever, the off the grid, whatever you want to call it, those people they're literally in communities. They have land. They're used. A lot of them live in remote areas where a lot of those people own it. Own it. They own the land. They
Let
know
me
how to
tell you
stay out
something,
there.
bro.
They're
I'm
fine.
But even RV
I'm
parks, you can only stay for so long, and then you have to move.
But they
I
honestly,
only
couldn't
have
live like
RVs.
that.
Some of them have actual houses out there. Like there's tons of
maybe
actual
maybe I'm wrong.
documentaries on those type of people that live and some of them are even millionaires that have bunkers, cabins, all that.
Well,
Like
I
Yeah,
think
that's
that's a
different
little
though.
bit different,
That's
though. Like,
different.
I'm just talking about
No,
normal
no.
people who don't have
yeah,
all of these backup
they're
plans.
not, but
you
then
have
those are
to,
those are
but people
homeless
have to.
people. If we don't have
Well,
any of
Yeah,
that, those are homeless
exactly.
people.
well,
Yeah.
I don't think. I think that's going from one extreme to the other, guys. Like there is a lot of middle in between homeless or I can live however I want and I have tons of resources.
Man,
Like
some of these
if you
motherfuckers be
if you
pedos and they be living
Ugh.
on the grid because they don't want
y'all
to be
so
tracked. It's some people. I'm telling you,
True.
listen. A lot of people are running from something. Y'all keep making it seem like motherfuckers just want to be away from society just because. It's a lot of people that don't want to be tracked. They got an issue, motherfucker. They owe somebody some money. That niggas don't want to be. They don't want to
every
register as an offender in your neighborhood. It's a lot of people that's out here living crazy. Y'all keep giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm telling you, it's a lot of people.
everything that's a luxury to us is not looked at as a luxury to others, and everything that you might think that you need for your life to be how you want, other people they don't look at it like that. I mean, there
Bullshit.
have you ever huh?
Bullshit.
We're just
That's not
normalizing
BS.
poverty, and I don't know how that's
That's
supposed to
not
help
No,
society.
no,
poverty,
no, no, no,
No,
no,
that's
Molly. That's
no.
not
normalizing
poverty.
poverty.
That
That's
off the
living
that
off
off the
of
That's
the
grid.
earth.
encouraging
No,
it.
no, no. Off that
Have
off the
y'all
grid
ever
stuff is
actually
not.
kicked it? Have y'all went to a
Whew.
rave with motherfuckers that ain't have nowhere to go after it was over? Like, have y'all ever? I remember we used to go to an electronic music festival a lot of times, and this was back when it was free in Detroit, and it was one of the biggest festivals, but it was free. Now they pay for you to go and all of that shit. But it wasn't just a festival; it was like a rave, and the parties would spread out and it would be in different spaces at the Russell Industrial Complex and all of that stuff. And it would be in different spaces a lot. And motherfuckers would just be partying and drugs and all of this. And then they would go into an, it'll be a spot, and you would think that it's a house at somebody's crib, but it wasn't. It was really a bando. It was an abandoned spot and all of that. And motherfuckers, once I'm telling you what the life is, I know this like the back of my hand. And people are dealing with shit. They got parents that held them accountable or something, or they running from something, or this person did something. And when you start spending extra time with people to get to know them beyond just partying with them for the night, it's crazy. People have real life stuff that they're substituting and trying to justify slumming and doing stuff that they're not supposed to do, or running from something, some responsibility that they're supposed to take care of.
But off the grid, not slumming.
Not dealing with it. And so this is why they are a lot, and I'm not saying all people, this is why a lot of the people that be out there doing the thing that motherfuckers just don't be like, oh, I want to be away from society and the grid for no fucking reason. No, that ain't logical. We're humans. We're supposed to want to be, even if you want space, you don't want to be isolated. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of them then wind up building a community with a bunch of motherfuckers that's doing the same thing.
Well, that's what I said.
The thing that you ran away from, you building a whole nother community around another bunch of motherfuckers that's saying that I want to rape from it.
No, because they're saying they don't want to be, and that's why I was saying to Molly that when she said, she was asking about the doctors or something like that. I said, no, they have them. They have a whole community. They literally have a whole community.
I know they do.
Yeah.
Until chicken pox pop up out there, motherfuckers want to come back to society.
No, I got the chicken pox vaccine and I had it as a kid.
I'm being sarcastic.
Didn't work.
But my point is that a lot of people are running from things that they don't want to take accountability for.
No, I don't think that some of the people that's living off the grid, I don't think it's that. It's that they don't want to conform to how society is right now. They don't like it, and they got to.
No, they just can't.
No, it's not about an affording. It's that, and they also probably see something coming, and they know that they got to be ready for what's to come.
That's even more of a reason to find a place that is stable, because why would you want to just be all over the place?
You know what's so funny though, Sammy? That remind me of niggas that be saying. That remind me of niggas that keep saying, I'm preparing for the end of the world. And niggas and people, they'll live 50 years getting rations and then die. And then their site gets sold or their bunker gets sold. Like, dog, what?
Hey, Anton.
You said, hold on. I do think you should have emergency preparedness.
There are preppers. Now, I remember it was preppers from 1997, 98, 99, because they was prepping for Y2K.
Yeah.
I remember niggas. Listen, Slimmy, we of a certain age, so we know. Motherfuckers was prepping for Y2K. Nothing happened, and niggas just had a whole bunch of they had generators, they had a whole bunch of
water.
It's crazy because a lot of people they don't remember
all the water.
But you still should have emergency prepping though, because I remember when here in Maryland, if it snows, people don't know what to do. They can't get outside. Like, so imagine if something happens where the grid goes out, or if something happens where.
And bought all of that paper towel and shit. Me and Rita was looking like, look at these dumb motherfuckers out here running around.
No, it was weird.
But see, I'm not talking about like that, because none of those people actually know how to cook. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know, like, you still should have life skills.
Yeah, but that's why these people that's off the grid, that's what they
like.
do.
I learned how to shoot. I know how to hunt.
Yeah, we know how to
ride a horse. Like, you should have life skills outside of a car.
Internet.
Yeah, they're just living like bums. The majority.
Yes.
They're vagabonds.
That's why.
Why can't it just be that they live differently than you? But why can't it just be that people? Why can't it just be that people live all different ways? Like, why does it have to be labeled as?
It's still homeless though.
In the woods.
No. Y'all conflating
That's
off the
you gotta thug
grid.
it out too
No,
hard
wait,
living
no,
out of a
seriously,
vehicle.
seriously.
I'm sorry.
No,
That's
no,
thugging
no,
it
no, no. You
out.
cannot do that. You are conflating off the grid with that car life shit. These are two totally different things.
Yeah, that's
That shit
different.
is
I think
not the
they're two totally
same.
different things too, but I'm just talking about people living outside of their vehicle. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
that's
off the
trash.
grid with
Like
the
they
solar
can't afford it.
panels.
They
That's different.
yeah, but off
I
the
Yeah,
live
but
in the
grid,
even
off
if
the
woods.
you're
I
grid.
living
live in
out
the
of your
woods with the solar
vehicle,
panels.
like
Hello.
that's not hurt. I guess
It
I'm just trying
does.
to
But
understand
Carrie, you do
who
realize
is it hurting? Who is it
that takes
harming?
taxpayer
You are
dollars to deal
Well,
with stuff.
yes, you are a
Carrie,
burden
What
on
takes taxpayer?
society.
Her living
Carrie,
in her car is hurting y'all's pockets.
Carrie, have you ever seen people
Tell me
that live out?
how.
Have you ever seen people that live in their cars and how their life is really like? Go over to
No,
Oakland. Go over to Oakland,
no, I'm not.
California, and see how the
I'm not.
motherfuckers is living.
I'm not talking about the homeless people who are able to poop on the sidewalk. I'm talking about what. Okay, so Dawn is costing y'all money.
Nobody is voluntarily living in their car, Carrie.
Is Dawn costing y'all money?
Is she costing taxpayers money?
Yeah.
I don't know what
Don't, she's
I don't know
she's
the
just
details
one
of Dawn's life.
person. But this is
I
becoming
That's what
don't
I'm
like a
saying. What?
know her
movement though.
specifically.
And then like y'all have to figure out where y'all gonna sleep for the night, whose parking lot are y'all gonna squat
Facts.
at? Like that's
Carrie,
But
doing too
there are
much.
places you can
Nobody
go
want
to
they're
park,
doing that in front of
Molly.
people's homes.
They
Carrie,
are. They are.
Carrie,
I'm not.
that woman from Detroit kids just died from this shit.
Yes, it is a thing and they are slumming it
She
out there.
They died from
This
carbon
I
monoxide.
don't know what
It's
Carrie was
dangerous
she
saying.
to live out your
she
vehicle. It's
she's
dangerous.
Wait, you talking about
it's
the lady with the kids? Because didn't
those are
they just
two
arrest
different
her?
things.
They no, and
no,
a
it's
lot of them
Those
No,
are
they
that
be
two
car
doing
life,
different things.
that's all the
a
same
lot of
thing.
them, listen, bro. A lot of them they be
no.
doing dangerous shit. They get
Oh my
kerosene
God.
heaters. They go out. They steal electricity in order to do certain things. They live in places that's not supposed to be designated for that. It's a
I'm
lot
not
of
talking
shit
about
that
somebody
they.
doing something illegal or somebody doing like I think that's probably why she roped it with RV living and van living, because I doubt very seriously that she's illegally using something that she even says it's been hard. It's hard, but she's learning a lot. She's learning from other people. Like it's a whole thing.
Other niggas are
So
stealing electricity.
that's just how y'all are labeling it. Y'all because of maybe what you do or don't know about it or the way that you're seeing it, you're making it like it has to be a negative thing. And I'm just trying to understand why you're not leaving space for the
If you
people who are choosing to do this and they're
if you
doing it
start to
a
see
way
these
that's legal.
communities pop up, when you see these communities pop up, it's like, listen, it's a
I'm
plague
not
on a community when you start to see a group of people that start doing car life all together. I'm telling you,
Hmm.
it is a plague on a community. Go over there in Oakland, Home Depot had to wall its own stores and parking lots off because it became such a nuisance that they had to start playing music loudly at night on the loudspeakers in order to get people to remove themselves from the area because it was prohibiting business and it had
We
drawn the
had the
wrong
same
type
thing
of
happen
elements.
here, Anton, and it was with homeless people. It was with homeless people, a lot of whom were strung out on drugs. They were pitching tents right next to, we had shopping centers, they're pitching tents, all their garbage, their trash. Then they move behind the highway. I get that. I'm not talking about those people. That's why again, that's why I said I think that she clumped it over with the RV life. Probably this might be one of the reasons.
Carrie,
I'm not this
can I
homeless
ask you a
person who's
question?
living under a bridge.
Can I
Like
ask you a question,
she,
Carrie?
even in the video at one point you hear the boats. She's like the boats are coming in. She's
Carrie, can
parking.
I ask you a question?
Yes.
You got to go to the bathroom at night. Where you going?
She's probably going to, if she's parking at RV camps or something. They have bathrums there. They have little
Car
what
life
do you call
is
them?
much different than RVs, Carrie. Come on.
No, it's
Car
not.
life, car
No,
life.
it's not. It's
Man,
not
hold on,
different.
Carrie. Hold on, Carrie.
Anton, it's not different in terms of where you can go. No, it's not.
Carrie,
No,
are
it's
you telling
not.
me that all of these people that are living this car life are all going into a local Walmart in order to use the bathroom at night?
I didn't say anything about Walmart.
What I'm asking is, All of these people that's living car life, which is the
I don't
equivalent
know
of being
all of these people living car life.
what
We
you're
were talking
speaking up
about
on.
Dawn.
So I'm asking you a question. Where are they using the bathroom at night?
I'm speaking up for Dawn right now. I'm not speaking up. And to me, you are putting her with the homeless people who are living under bridges and on streets, and you're clumping her with them, and I don't think that that's how she's rolling. I think that she's probably parking places where other RVs and vans are parking, and a lot of those places you might have access to a porta potty, or some of those places might even have an outdoor rest area, or maybe she goes to the bathroom before she goes to park where she goes. But what I'm saying is that you're making it out like the way that she's doing it and people who are doing it like her, there's no legal, clean, okay way to do it. Like
Okay.
But she has
how
to.
does hold on, how does the physical vehicle, because vans don't have bathrooms in it, so
I agree. I think that van life and
how
car
is
life
the
is two
van
separate
life
things.
and the RV life, and like how is
I
that
believe that they're the
okay?
same
But
thing.
purely because she's in a different vehicle, she's
Van
now
life,
over here.
van life and car life is the same thing. Van life just gives you a little
RVs
bit
have
more space.
bathrooms.
RVs do have bathrooms to where you can empty.
Some of them, not all of them.
RVs are equipped for you to live off on the road.
Some
They're made
RVs
for you
have
to
bathrooms. Some RVs do not.
no,
She has
but
to make sure she's by her gym just to take a shower, Carrie. Like,
There's a
what if
lot
she's
of
not even
But
by
people.
her
that's her
There's a
gym?
lot. Hold on,
choice.
hold on,
But
hold on, hold
that's
on.
not, she's not hurting
There's a
anybody.
lot of
She's paying
people.
for it. She's not like
There's a
sneaking in the gym. You know what I'm
there's a
saying? Like,
lot of people that live car life that are living in cars that can't even start. They're living in cars that a lot of times don't even move.
I'm not
That's the
talking
honest to
about,
God
but
truth.
Anton, you keep bringing up this whole other demographic of people who, I agree, it's an issue. Like, they are there because they probably found a car and it's open so I can sleep
No,
in
it'd be
here
their
tonight,
car,
or
and it just
whatever.
be
My point is that you're clumping her and people who might be living like her over here with a different set of people, and I just don't think that that is who I don't think that's the community that she's talking about when she says she started researching it and really understanding it. I doubt very seriously that she's talking about the people who will poop in front of somebody's on the sidewalk. I doubt very seriously that that's who she's researching.
if you think, oh my God.
Carrie, why you think
It's
she's a
the thing
She
is
has to
that
make herself
I
feel
get
better
it.
about
We
being
don't get
homeless,
it. We
Carrie.
wouldn't live. That's not true. Like, it's just not for y'all, and that's okay. But just because you
It's
wouldn't
not
do
for
it and you
anybody.
don't
It
get
shouldn't
it,
be for a woman, period. She's a woman. She
No
shouldn't even be
woman
living
should
like
be,
that.
Carrie, no woman should be living in a car. No woman should. We are in
There's
the.
no
Oh,
stability.
wait. We
that
not.
shit is
We not
dangerous.
in hunter gatherer mode.
she
All right.
acknowledged that.
We
She
are in
acknowledged that she
2025,
has to roll a
and we
certain
talk
way.
about AI
She
and
learned
fucking
that.
machine learning, and we're talking about women living in their cars and justifying it. That
And
is
she ain't bothering
crazy to me.
anybody. She's not bothering anybody. She's
I'm
not
not
breaking
even
any
talking
laws.
about
She's
Dawn in
not telling
particular.
everybody to. But that's who we're
You
talking
keep bringing
about.
it back to Dawn, but we all with every subject we always explored across the board, and we go down a bunch of different rabbit holes. We talked about people that RV life. We talked about people that lived off the grid. We talked about a lot of different people. Now you want to okay? So you only
I
want to
don't
talk
think
about
y'all
Dawn?
know enough about it for us to really. I don't think any of us know. I think this is the topic that none of us really know enough about to have such strong
Oh, I've known
positions.
people who've lived
Well,
out of their cars. I
I'm not talking about
definitely.
living out of their car. I'm not talking about like
Carrie, Carrie,
I've watched people's videos and they say it's not all it's cracked up out to
but
everybody. Nobody that
she's
lives
not
in their car
glorifying it,
enjoys it, to be
Molly.
honest. They just cope with it.
She if you watch her whole video, I think she's being pretty transparent about it. Like, she's not saying
I
it
watched the
like,
whole video, Carrie.
I'm not okay, fine. When I watched the whole video, I didn't get the sense that she's like trying to make this into some glamorous thing. To me, it's more important for her to do this for her. She's proven stuff to herself. I mean, you can make the face, Anton, but that might mean something to her.
I don't
It
get.
doesn't have
Listen,
to mean
Carrie,
anything to
I'm gonna be
you,
honest
but it
with you.
means something
No.
to her.
Hold on. Let me say this. I'm gonna be honest with you, Carrie. I don't give a fuck about what women think because this proves that they don't even know what's best for them. Women should not be allowed to live on the streets homeless. I don't care what she thinks. I don't care about what she wants to prove to herself. This is one of the reasons why I don't believe in feminism. I don't believe in autonomy. I don't believe in women having the freedom to do some of the things that they do because they're retarded sometimes. And they make bad decisions and they justify it by saying, well, this is meaningful to me. No, women should not be on the street. That should just be a standard across the board. Guys got to figure it out. They got to suffer. They got to make sure that they go out here and do what they got to do to create the environment that ultimately women are the ones that benefit from. But
It sounds to me like she is trying to figure it out.
You're never going to convince me that it makes sense for a woman who is basically weak, helpless, and in any other culture where we didn't have a modern society, while they're trying to justify being able to live off the grid and shit, that they would not be pillaged, taken advantage of, destroyed. And the only reason that she's safe enough to even do this is because we have laws and police officers and technology that ultimately, hopefully, prevent people from doing shit to her that otherwise they would have if we didn't live in the United States of America. The reality of it is that no woman, no matter how she justifies it, from my perspective, no kid and no woman should ever go homeless. None, zero, zilch, nada. Voluntarily, involuntarily, they shouldn't even have a choice, in my opinion, personally. And so I don't give a fuck about what she thinks. She's clearly out of her mind. Her story.
Okay, so therefore what? So therefore what should she do with what you're saying? So therefore what?
What do you mean? So therefore what?
So
She
therefore what? You said no woman,
I
no
believe
kid should
that
be
she.
homeless,
I
whether
believe
by
that
choice or
one of
by
the reasons, going back to what Slimmy was saying, that she's in this situation is because she continues to have self-inflicted wounds and go against probably the advice. She said she had parents. She didn't say just her mother. She said she had parents that she was living with. She needs to go back to her goddamn father and her parents and get under a man's covering. She's had husbands that she's no longer with. She would not be homeless trying to figure it out and sell a goddamn Netflix documentary that she's putting together on YouTube. Had she got under somebody's covering, and like I said, it doesn't make sense for a woman like her to be homeless unless she's just doing some dumb shit and made a bunch of decisions that she's saying that she has to work through and put herself in a situation. It's dumb. Women should not even be in the position at all. They should not even have this level of decision making on their own to be able to say that I want to be homeless. That sounds dumb to me.
No, listen. We're not talking about no 30-year-old woman, too. This is a 60-year-old woman, man. She's technically
something. What she say?
58. She's 60. That's a senior. She's technically a senior citizen. Like, she should not be living like that. I'm not trying to crack no jokes. I'm not trying to be funny. She should not be living like that. Never.
So what should she be doing?
She should be on the road with En Vogue. Suck your motherfucking pride up.
You don't know all of what, but no, because that's the other thing. Nobody really knows what happened with their group. So that's another situation. Because she's not the only original member who's not with them. So
yeah, the short one's gone too.
So all I'm saying is like that might not be an option.
Oh, understandable.
Her husband,
understandable, but okay.
I just looked it up. Her husband
with
said,
Lucy Pearl.
Her husband
in 3 minutes, we're gonna move over to the next subject, y'all.
I just looked it up. Her ex-husband said he'll give her a job. He said he'd been told her he'll give her a job. And
yeah, if she busted down for a real one,
Dre Allen,
we got to clean her up though.
You know who Dre Allen is?
We got to clean her up and make sure that she get all of her doctors.
He's like a producer or whatever in the industry, blah blah blah. He said
nothing is for free. Nothing is for free in these worlds.
Man, Anton,
so a woman, you don't want a woman to live on the streets, but you gotta bust it down for a real one.
I didn't say that women didn't have currency. Now, what I did say is that's her ex-husband, which means he already familiar. So
yeah, that is different.
Get her shots. Get her shots.
She
not get her
the three people that she loves and that has supported her is her assistant, her mother-in-law, her ex's mom, and her brother.
Get her shots.
Carrie,
Get her
Carrie,
shots. Get
Carrie.
her
They
her
don't
shots.
love her.
No,
They
no,
want to give her a
no.
place to stay.
No,
Get
no,
her her
no.
shots. Let's get her. Let's make sure
He
we
said
get
he
her
giving
cleaned
her a
up.
job.
Carrie, I
Lord
gotta.
Jesus.
Carrie, you don't think there's anything wrong with her?
Here's what I'll say without trying to say too much, right? Because one, I'm not I don't. It's hard for me to make a real decision on that without really knowing someone's complete story. That's just me. And my husband has worked with all of them for years. And when I asked him about this, he was like, you would have to really know her story. And knowing her, he was like, this is not surprising. So is something wrong with her? I don't know. I don't know. But just because I would not do this, I'm not gonna say something's wrong with her.
I'm
And when
not.
I
I'm not.
listen
I'm
to
not talking
and when I
about
listen
just.
to her talk, she seems like this makes sense to her. She seems like like she's a grown woman. Other people know where she is. So for all I know, she's doing all this for the documentary. For you know what I'm saying?
Carrie, you know who she
Carrie.
reminds me of? The lady
So
we reviewed the other week, the elderly lady from that moved from Memphis to, I think it was Atlanta, to be an actor, and then had to move back, and she had the DoorDash and all that other stuff, and it was just like something after something else after something else after something else that she just kept making bad decisions.
I
But it
might
I ain't
was
maybe
even
her,
y'all
talking
did that on
about.
the night I wasn't on.
I
but
ain't
it
even.
was
Women don't thrive well in survival mode like men. That's just some stuff we just not. We can do it, but don't mean we should. Good
But
luck to her though.
that ain't necessarily what I'm talking about. Just her. Like you don't think it's anything wrong where the relationship with her mom seems fractured. Two groups later. You know what I'm saying? Like then the thing with her manager. Like and then
Um,
like for
go ahead.
for for her to like you just said like three people that she loved. One of them is her mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Like you
Um,
just said you just this is insane. She loves her mother-in-law, but she doesn't have a good relationship with her own mom.
no, she explains more of what happened well, y'all saw it when she explained what happened with her mom. And here's the thing. Maybe you guys look at it like something's wrong with her, and that could be true, right? That could totally be true. But she also said that her mother got started to get very angry and was taking it out on her. Now, she could be lying or she could be telling the truth. So the very
she can be
issues that
telling the truth.
the very issues that you guys are saying she might have might be the issues her mom really has. And so all I'm saying is like people have stories and I mean you just asked in the beginning of the show, do we think that the your preferences, the things you like, the things you do can be impacted by your childhood? And I said I think most times yes. And again, when I'm talking to my husband, apparently there is a story to her upbringing. And so I don't know what that was, but it was something. And maybe that is an indication of how she's moving now, but maybe that has something to do with her relationship with her mom, with her dad, with her sister. She said her and her sister don't talk right now. She said that she said that her family is nowhere to be found. Now again, that could be made up or that can be true. She said when I got into the group, when I first got into In Vogue, and I was successful. I was helping my sister out. I was helping people out, and they have to deal with how they treated me. It could be a lie. It could be the truth. I don't know.
Uh, all I'm looking at is I don't know, right? But all I'm looking at is a pattern. So your professional relationships and your personal relationships go the exact same way.
here's what all that I'll say regarding that, because again, I gotta be careful of how much I say, but there is more than just her in that group, and everybody there's a story to everybody who was in the group, and everybody was
But
not
it's not just
perfect.
in Vogue. She also had another group.
I
Yeah,
don't know
Lucy
about Lucy
Pearl.
Pearl. I don't know about Lucy Pearl.
But that's
They
what
fell
I
out.
mean.
They
And
fell out in
it's an
Lucy
old
Pearl
saying.
too.
It's an old saying
No,
that
I'm saying,
says,
like, I don't
"How
know
you do
any
one
of
thing is how
the
you do everything."
stuff.
So it's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it's a pattern.
I get that, and you might be right. You might very well be right. She might be a narcissist. She might be like, there might be so many different things wrong with her.
It just might be
It
something
could
she has
be,
to acknowledge so she can
or
get help.
not. And to me, whatever it is, it sounds like she has been brought to a place where she feels like she needs to take this moment by herself, make this extreme move, and go through this process. She says she's working on herself. She's getting to know herself. So, Mika, maybe you're 100% accurate, and this is a part of what she has to go through to get out of who she used to be. I don't know.
I gotta move
Well,
on, y'all. I gotta move on.
I have one question before we move on. The chat wants to know what's the pattern.
Oh,
They
what?
got jokes.
The
You
chat didn't
said
want to know that.
pattern.
You want to know that you.